are calling for increased military for this country. And I'm wondering what your view is, because if there's increased military, then corporations will be providing that military material.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. There are certain things that we have to do in Washington that we can do not really in the states. So to have a military, it probably has to come out of Washington. So you're not going to, you do have National Guard and things like that you have in the state level, but really it is one of the primary constitutional functions of government is to defend the country. That being said, not every dollar spent on the military is wisely spent. John Lehman was the youngest Secretary of the Navy under Reagan, and he's been for expanding the Navy, but he says we shouldn't just add it on, we need to get rid of some of the bureaucracy. When John Lehman was head of the Navy, there were 7 joint task forces, there's now 250. They say you can't turn around without meeting an admiral or a general. We may have gone too far on some of this, and it'll take time to reverse that. I can't tell you the exact amount you should spend on military. I think you spend what it takes to defend the country. But it's not an unlimited check. It's not a blank check. I've supported legislation to actually audit the Pentagon. They need to be audited. Their response, we're too big to be audited. I think that's an insult to the taxpayer. I think it is a priority that we defend the country, but it can't be something that is sort of Pollyanna and we just do whatever. So it has to be done within context. The Grace Report 30 years ago talked about $1,000 toilet seats and things being wasted. So we do have to do it. Not every weapon system is something we need. What we need to do, and what we need to do with all of government, is have legislators who will make priorities and decisions. And instead of one thing being added to another, it might be one thing or another. And so we do have to make choices. When we look at the overall military budget, you'll find some in our party who say, oh no, it needs to be $600 billion or $650 billion. We need to look at it in context. We have doubled the amount of military spending since 2001, doubled it. We spend more on our military than the next 14 countries combined. This includes Russia, China, all these potential rivals of ours. We spend more than the next 14 combined. So I think we do need to put it in context. But I also don't want us to be weak either. I want us to be able to defend ourselves. So there's no exact answer to the exact number other than we have to have a strategic vision for what we need. We have to decide how to spend it, and we shouldn't borrow it from China to spend it on our military or anything else. We need to spend it from what comes in. About $3 trillion comes in, and we spend anywhere from 3.8 to 4 trillion. If we spent what comes in, we would be so much better off in the country. But that is a radical notion in Washington to only spend what comes in. But I agree with the premise of your question that it should be making priorities, and if you're going to spend money, it has to come from somewhere, and it needs to be done on a rational basis. Thank you.